scanner's measuring and what it does, then the staff doesn't have to answer all these questions, and neither does the doctor. So it leverages them too. So they're more amenable to bringing it in because you've got a turnkey system now that takes care of everything, including the verification codes that people have to chase down people for, to put the phone number in, to place an order, blah, 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 blah. So that flow now takes care of everything, so I keep going back to the system is more than just a website. It's more than just an automation. It is a turnkey flow for, making this really work in doctor's offices and for us. I had, and the flow part, what was interesting is I really saw this big time. So let me get Tom. Sorry, you guys. Tom is on the old one. Next to him real quick. Okay. The flow really takes care of a lot of things. And that being said, I'm going to show you what that looks like for a second. And actually, Tom was one of the people that went to, share this, hang on. This was what was eye-opening for me. We're always learning, right? So Tom and his team went to a health fair on the west coast of Florida. And when they went to the health fair, we always pay for, when we do big events, we pay for lead capture systems, right? They charge you for those little lead capture systems and to scan your badge, scan your badge, scan your badge. So I said, well, we have a lead capture system, and this is what it looks like. Let's see. So the lead capture system is scan the QR code. The QR code leads to a form. You know how much I like forms. Form leads to a one-page landing page that educates people on what we're doing here and what the scanner measures, et cetera, and then that dumps people into the CRM, which leads into education on why LifePak is a great choice, or LifePak Nano is a great choice. So that's kind of what this flow looks like. And what really made me see this was when I started playing with it at the health fair that Tom and about 5 other people went to, where now they could have people scan the QR code while they were waiting in line, fill out the form. This used to be done on paper, and then we would have to import them into our computer to follow up with them. And we would play Dr. Oslet educating them in a doctor's office. So all of these things that is now 5 steps, you can do at a med spa, you can do in a doctor's office, you can do at a health fair. This is streamlined now, And so Navini was asking how to create a QR code this morning. So I was showing her that. But I'm just going to take a pause for a minute and say, does that make sense to you guys? If you scan and take out your phones and scan the QR code so you can see what I mean, experience what I'm talking about here. Because it's one thing to see it, but it's one thing to do it. It's another thing to actually do it. So scan that QR code on the left. I'm going to do it too. And you'll see what a patient or a prospect experiences.
Paige, this is incredible.
Thanks. I think it is. It's all about moving to leverage time. Time is our enemy, so we're trying to leverage time. And like I said, there's some people that say, oh, I don't really do doctor stuff with the PharmaNext stuff. I just do med spas. Well, you'd follow up with somebody, right? You want to. So instead of the health assessment, use the skincare form. A QR code leads to a skincare assessment, leads to a landing page, leads to a buy button, leads to an email campaign. Mind, let's say Mind. Mind has a questionnaire. Career assessments have a questionnaire. That can all be attached to a QR code that leads to a form, that leads to a landing page, that leads to a buy button, that leads to them being in our CRM so we can follow up with them. Tom, are you here? Hey, Tom.
Trying to figure out how to unmute there.
Okay. Welcome. I was just talking about you. Were your ears burning?
Yeah, no, we're all good.
Good. Good, good. All right. Anybody have any questions about that so far? All right. So what are some other questions that you guys have about how to get a scanner in a practice, how to who to talk to? Okay. Do you guys want to know how I would talk to a medical rep on the phone? What I would say to them? I need a guinea pig to be the medical rep. Tom, you want to be
Okay,
my medical rep? I know you're not
um,
shy. He's not shy either.
go for it, Tom.
All right, yep, I'm just trying to pull up my tech time. So go ahead.
All right. So I'm going to pretend you are a medical rep that I'm talking to for the first time, okay?
Okay.
So they can see what I do every single day that I've done for 15 years. So I would call Tom because he booked an appointment with me because he saw something that I posted on LinkedIn or Facebook or anywhere, and he was curious. So I used my calendar link to send him a text message. And so now he's booked an appointment with me. So he's in my calendar on my phone for 10:30. So I would call him and I would say, "Hey, Tom, this is Paige. How are you?"
I'm good. How are you doing, Paige?
Good. Is this still a good time?
Yep, this works.
Cool, cool. Well, I'm not looking at your profile right now. So tell me a little bit about you, where you live, what you're doing work-wise. So where are you?
I'm down in Southwest Florida. Uh, have a health and wellness business selling different products for some of the companies that we work with.
Oh, cool. And I always like to ask, what was it that made you want to book an appointment with me today? What's changed in your life, or what's different where you said, "Oh, I'm just going to talk to this person and see what's going on."
Yeah, I just interested in seeing what you have there. It looked pretty interesting on your post, and it might be a line that I'd be interested in picking up.
All right, cool. Well, we have this device or this technology that measures antioxidants, inflammation, and oxidative stress in 30 seconds non-invasively.
Mm.
And so we place that in medical practices all over the world. And when we do, patients get healthier through prevention that we can actually measure. What's in it for doctors is we can help them make an ancillary revenue stream because they're getting crushed by insurances. And so they're always looking for additional revenue streams. And then for the distributors that place it, there's also an additional revenue stream for creating that distribution channel where these products flow through them. So we sell the devices into the practices, and the devices move a nutraceutical line for us that we get paid on in perpetuity.
That sounds pretty interesting. What kind of practices do you call on?
Well, really, it's unlimited. Anybody that believes in prevention or is looking to improve health and is looking to improve their bottom line in their business. We've been the most successful with internal med, family practice, OBGYNs, dentists, chiropractors, ophthalmology, optometry, independent pharmacies, med spas, podiatry.
Yeah, it's pretty broad. Is
Yep.
there more information you can send me that I could take a look at and vet it a little bit better, get a better understanding?
Yep, absolutely. So what I'm going to do as soon as we get off the phone is that I'm going to send you an email, and I'll probably text it to you if that's all right. I'm going to text you a link to my website, and then we can follow up after you look at it because it'll make a lot more sense, and we can have a more educated conversation if that's all right with you.
Sure, that's
Okay.
perfect.
We also have a webinar. I know it's short notice tonight, where there'll be a nice business overview on what the scanner is, where it came from, and there'll probably be some doctors on there that have had this in their practice here on the East Coast for a while. So I can send you that invite as well if you want.
Yeah, send it. I've got to look at my schedule, but go ahead and send it.
Okay. While you're doing that, let's carve out a time to follow up because what I send you is going to inspire more questions. And as you can see, it's not too painful here. I'll be gentle. So I usually like a couple days out, maybe Thursday or Friday, we can talk again just for about 15 minutes.
Yeah, Friday would make more sense for me. Yep.
Okay. Morning or afternoon?
Late morning.
Okay. Let's say 10 or 11.
Sure.
Okay, I'll put you in for 10. I'm just going to move this appointment to then. And then in the meantime, I'm going to send you some information so you can take a look at what I sent you.
Okay.
Okay?
Sounds good.
Have a good one. That's it. That's an example. So a lot of times what I'll do is, in the beginning, I usually it's really good to build more rapport in the beginning. So I'm always critically, look at what I do and what I could do better. So if I were to analyze that one I just did, and I do this every day, so I've done it for lots of years. But I would say I probably needed to build a little bit more rapport in the beginning because I don't know him. He's a pretty cold call, and maybe in his story, if I pull out some pain points, especially with that question, why did you want to talk today? A lot of times, well, we just had a layoff, or we're about to have a layoff, or I've just been watching you for like 5 years and just curious as to what you do. And, I figured I'm open. So let's chat. It could be any of those things, but if I can pull out some pain, I can use my story, and this is an art form to do this. I remember watching Dr. Rosenberg do it and listening to it, and thinking it was pretty masterful. But in my story, as I tell my story, I will use their pain in my story. So let's say Tom was a rep and he got laid off, and he didn't like being micromanaged anymore. He's kind of over that. In my story, I would say, about 15 years ago, I learned about this device. It was literally 2 days after a massive layoff in the industry. They're laying off left and right. Kind of looks like 2009, right? So I'm getting their commitment and buy-in, and he'll be like, yeah. And so I will just kind of go on to, I just got tired of being micromanaged, and I knew that my skill set was worth something. And I knew that, so I'm using my story to say why I did this, not why he should do it. But I'm really opening up that wound a little bit to where they're going to go, yeah, I kind of feel that way too. Yeah, that makes sense, So in the beginning, and this is where I kind of go back and forth, depending on how long the conversation is, I try and really let the tools do the work. So let the website do the work. And that's why a lot of it's stripped of anything new skin or anything Pharmanex, because I want to have the opportunity to have another conversation with them. And if I say too much on this first conversation, I can probably kiss them goodbye because I'm not creating curiosity. I'm not keeping it elevated. And in the website, they should be able to see, it's evidence-based. There's a lot of studies behind it. There's people doing it, and that kind of thing. So that's why, I used to send emails with certain YouTube videos, and I would send a few bullet points, and then I'm saying, okay, well, I'm not getting the response I want there, so let me send less, and kind of the same thing for the website. That's why just yesterday and the day before, I created new landing pages, which were, one is for customer, one is for a rep, one is for a doctor, one is just scanner in general. And the slash, behind the domain name is physician or medical rep or scanner, or, if it's a VIP customer that just wants to buy product. And the reason I kind of do that, again, backing off from too much information in the beginning, just giving them enough. And now there's a pop-up that timing wise, it's probably good to say, fill out this for more information. And Curtis was saying to me this morning, you're giving them stuff before you take, so I'm giving them information with a lot of information that's on that landing page before I ask for their information. So that's kind of the thought process behind that.
I joined late, and you were showing that workflow where you had the 5 pictures of the phone or whatever.
Yep.
And I'm in back time right now. Is that I'm in the I clicked on customer website or template, and the first thing that popped up was the antioxidant health assessment. Is that where you start that workflow you were showing?
Okay, let me show you. So, because Navini just had this question too. Can you guys see my screen?
No.
Shared it yet? Okay, let me share it. Okay, let's see. And if you guys, before I do that, I'm going to show you this GPT. So at the bottom of the websites is this good looking doctor. And if you click on him, on a lot of the different pages, you'll see him, or it'll say Chat GPT Q&A. It opens up this custom Chat GPT. So they can ask absolutely any question. On the patient VIP one, it's the supplement guide. So they can ask anything they want that they're, afraid to ask you, blah, blah, blah. And that took me 3 weeks to figure out how to put that guy on there. And I think it's pretty amazing. So we should be using it more often, I think. All right, so go to app. Okay, you guys can see this, right? All right, so I'm gonna go to sites on the left, and I'm in the process of changing this and condensing this a little bit, but let me show you what that looks like real quick. So at the bottom of your websites are a few new pages. One is product only landing page, one is physicians landing, one is med reps landing, and one is success quality. And if you don't see it yet, you'll see it eventually because we're working on all of them. So that being said, you start with the customer health assessment. So this is the health assessment I like right now with this picture. And it's got to make sure it has what is your number one health concern, because if they choose one, then it sends them down the right a new funnel. So at the top, this one is healthtoday.ai, which is my domain, VIP-health-assessment. So I'm going to copy that link to the health assessment. Now I'm going to go into QR codes at the top. And I'm going to do create QR code. And I'm going to name it customer health assessment. And this could be customer or patient. Then I'm going to click on website and I'm going to click on next. And now I'm going to erase this. I'm going to paste what I just copied. Okay. And then I'm going to hit next. And then I can make it pretty colors. I can put a logo in the middle of it. I can get all fancy. Okay. I can do all kinds of things. And I'll put, let's see. And then you download it. So now when someone scans that QR code, they go to a health assessment. Tom, if there's some old QR codes in your thing here, in your QR code section, we'll make sure that they are working correctly, because what happens is there's two things that need to line up. One, and this is something that I was working on, if things change in a certain spot in this My Business Profile section, this right here, this branded domain, if that has changed, and it might have, because I realized that one needs to be different than the email services one, but in this section, I usually like as a standard info dot or link dot domain, and that's what's there. And then another setting, so this is tied to QR codes, this subdomain right here. If this was changed, for example, Tom, and I had link there previously, and now I changed it to info, which I just learned a valuable lesson about a month ago, so some of them might be changed, which is why your old links may not work, but the new ones will, is because I learned a valuable lesson on making sure this right here, which goes to your QR codes and your calendar, is different than email services, which is usually email or mail.healthtoday.ai. Mine happens to be support. I could change it, but again, so all of the newer accounts in this email services section have mail or email dot the domain, and this takes care of email, and so the email goes out and doesn't get messed up. And this section where it's under business profile is taking care of QR codes and your calendar link. So that subdomain right there, you're going to see in your QR codes and your calendar link. So let's go back to QR codes again. So now, Navini asked, okay, well, let's say they go through their fill out the information, just like in a doctor's office, they go through the fill out the information, they hit the submit button, and the submit button takes them to this landing page. This is what the patient is going to see. And what I was saying is, if you scan that, you'll see exactly what's happening, but we'll keep going. So when they hit this submit button on this assessment, now they're going to see this on their phone. And they're going to get educated on our products, and they're going to have the buy buttons in here, which are connected to your My Site. The bottom, it has your information at the bottom. So another thing you want to do, which is what Navini brought up, is that you want to copy that link as well. And let's make another QR code, because if they get out of that, we want them to go back and say, you buy it here. So this is going to be customer by Paige. Website. Next. Delete that. Control V for paste. Customer dash product. And then, download it, save it. So now this one is only that customer by page. But if you use this only, then you won't collect their information. If you use this one, then you collect their information. Forms lead to you collecting their information and then ending up in your CRM. So Tom, you want me to make you one?
Yeah, I looked at my business profile and I looked at the email services. It looks like they're different, like you said. I
Okay,
think we went through that the other day.
supposed to be, yeah, they're supposed to be different. So we want them to be different for sure. So the email services one is good. So yours is info.
Right.
Okay. So, and you don't have to do anything with it. It's going to take care of itself. But if your old one was linked, for example, so now I'm going to go look at your QR codes. So let's see if you scanned any of these. Let's see. They may be broken. Like, let's say I'm gonna do scan for youth Tom and see what happens. Yep, it's at info, so that still works. If it doesn't work, I'll delete it. The show lead capture works. Nope, that's a 404. So this one I'm going to delete because it doesn't work. That one's taking a long time to load for some reason. So what I usually do, ladies, is I pop these over to Canva because they end up with a really big white box on them. Just so you know. So Tom Insights. I don't know if I've put your new stuff in here yet. Farmanex, I think I did because I name them when I do. Yep, so this is here. And then when you get a chance, you guys, if you're tech savvy, go ahead and click on settings in here and clean them up. There's a bunch of numbers on the back of them sometimes after I load them. So Tom, the one you're missing is you're missing a health assessment. So I'm gonna look up here and see if the health assessment is anywhere in here. Here it is. Okay, so your health assessment, I'm gonna make sure it's clean. Yep, it is. So now I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna preview it. And I'm going to copy the address at the top, and I'm going to go into QR codes, and I'm going to create a new QR code. That'll be health assessment, link, next, paste, next, and that's your new health assessment.
Okay. Okay. And that one, when they fill it out and hit submit, it'll go to the next page, the buy page, you said.
Correct. Yep.
Let me ask you a question. This is just experience right here. If we're at a health fair, a scanning event, and we have them fill that out from the QR code, what's your recommendation on the scanner then? Just do demo scans?
Yes. Because here's what's happened. You know, New Skin has collected their information. Sometimes they don't even let us have it, but we need it to follow up and market to them, right? And sell to them.
Yeah.
So that's the most important thing is that we collect their information. So I don't care if we do demo scans, you know?
Would it be so? If they're at a scanning event, maybe we could talk this one offline, because it'd be nice for them to get the cellular explanation pages after they've scanned. If
They do.
Okay, okay,
With ours, you know, we have an automation for that.
okay, gotcha.
So the automation is you guys look at this health assessment and the questions. You know, the questions are, what is your primary health concern, right? So this primary health concern right here,
Uh-huh.
when they answer that, now they're going into an automation. And it's called nutrition, and we're doing the same thing for skin. So when they answer, see the form, they submitted that form. Once they hit that button and they say Alzheimer's, the first email they get is on Alzheimer's and recommends, let's see, Alzheimer's recommends, it's recommending the Mind Line right now, but I need to fix that. Let's say they're concerned about heart disease. Then they get, you know, information about Life Pack. If they talk about, you know, cancer, you know, probably going to talk about antioxidants and Life Pack. So they get this drip that New Skin only sent out one before. They only sent out one email when you got scanned. They didn't do all this. You got the one email talking about where you can get it, you know, and it did have our My Site link on it, but now they get all this, and they get My Sites at the bottom saying you can buy here, you can buy here, you can buy here. So it's much more robust than the new skin system.
Okay. The only thing they won't get, because we're doing demo scan, is, it used to say congratulations on your first step to wellness or whatever. Your scan score was blank. They
Yeah.
won't. They won't.
They won't get your scan score was blank. Correct.
Okay. Gotcha. We could just give that to them in a handout at the table.
Yep. I'll keep thinking about that. Let's see. As a workaround.
Because I'm trying to tie this to, what Cash went through in his. Oh, you weren't there, but he role played doing a scanning event, and talking to somebody and giving them a very specific recommendation on what to buy, and he's apparently been fairly successful, and he's streamlined it so that he's not offering 10 things, he's offering one thing basically.
Yeah, and Kurt says, I should just go back to selling youth or pick a product. We fall in love with one product.
Yeah.
But our system is the same. It's just it's 3 products at the bottom. It can be one. You can customize.
No, I in 3 products at the bottom. That's not, and we could just direct them to it. But what was I going to go with that?
No, Tom, because when they hit the submit button, this is the next screen that comes up. When they hit the submit button, this is the screen that comes up on their phone.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, that's perfect.
So now they're standing in line getting educated on what the scanner measures, some of the products, or they're in the doctor's office getting educated while they're waiting for the doctor.